So go ahead and check your answers here. So the first one, 89.49. Number 2, with the discount of $28.71, it should have been $58.29. That's how much you're paying for your shoes. The second one, with tax, that's your tax amount, should have been $1,355.40. And then the final one, lots of work there, so look at my work if you need to. This was your sale price with your discount. This was your tax amount. So your sales price plus your tax, $64.87. Okay? All right, so that is finding the percent of the number. Remember, finding the percent of the number, turn your percent into a decimal and multiply. Okay, that is finding the percent of the number. That's where you work with discount and taxes. Both of those are finding percent of a number. Now, we've been working with those, okay? Turn your percent into a decimal and multiply. Today, you're going to do a little bit, we're going to do really quickly, talk about finding the whole. So if I don't give you the whole, so look at the difference between this problem and this problem. So 45% of something, here is the whole. I'm giving you 12 and I wanted to know what 45% is. Over here, I'm saying 15 is 30% of what number? I did not give you the whole. I did not give you the whole. I want you to figure that out. Okay? So in that case, we are going to set up our ratio just like we did when we first started off. That's the one where it was the percent over 100 equals is over of, which is your part over your whole. So as long as you know this ratio, you can set up a proportion and you'll be able to figure it out. All right, so here's my problem here. 34 is 40% of what number? So always start off with your percent over 100. So my percent is 40. That means 40% means 40 out of 100. That's your percent. Always put your percent over 100. Equals is over of, or your part over your whole. Look over here. Do you see how this says 34 is? So that is your part. Okay. I do not know how of the whole. So that's where my variable is going to go. Okay. Once I have this, then we're going to simply cross multiply, which we've done this. We have cross multiplied before. So I'm going to go from here to here. 40 times x is simply 40x equals, and then 34 times 100 is 3,400. Okay? All right, I still want to solve for x, so I need to get rid of this 40. So the opposite of multiplying by 40 is to divide by 40. So if I divide both sides by 40, I'm left with x equals, and then I have to grab my calculator. So 3,400 divided by 40 equals 85. 85. Okay, so my whole is 85. So that means if I have 85 things, 34 out of 85, if you were to put that in your calculator right now, it would come up to be 0.4, which would be 1 to 40%. Okay? All right, let's do a couple more examples. All right, let's look at this one together. So 35% of something is 49. So again, set up your proportion. Percent over 100 equals is over of. All right, so percent over 100 equals the is over the of. This is 49. So that is my part. So I do not know the whole. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay. All right, so we're going to cross multiply. 35 times x is 35x equals 100 times 49 is 4,900. Okay, we're going to solve for x. Opposite of multiplying by 35 is to divide by 35. So x would equal, I'm grabbing my calculator, 4,900 divided by 35 equals 140. Okay. So again, that means if I had 49 out of 140, if you were to put that in your calculator right now, that would come out to be 0.35, which when I move my decimal 2 places is 35%. Okay, how about I do one more with you? 75% of something is 36. Percent over 100 equals is over of. Is 36. Okay, all right, why don't you solve that? Pause that video and go ahead and solve that one. All right, check your answer. All right. All right. I want you to pause the video. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to do those 3 problems. Somebody go ahead and hit pause on the smartboard, and we'll come back in about 3 minutes. All right, so go ahead and check on those answers right there. All right, now you can still use these from word problems when we have word problems. Let's look at this one. So 45 students in the 6th grade brought back their permission slips for the field trip. This is 36% of the class. So how many kids are in the class? So see, I do not know the whole. All right, so let's set up my proportion. So 36%, that's 36 out of 100 equals is over of. 45 is my part. That is how many kids brought back their permission slip, but not out of the whole. I do not know the whole. All right, so go ahead and solve that for me. How many kids are in the 6th grade? All right, that should be 125 kids. All right, here's another word problem. You got 34 problems correct on the test. You received an 85%. So how many problems were on the test? Okay, again, I do not know the whole. So 85% is 85 out of 100. You got 34 correct. That's your part, but I do not know the whole. All right, go ahead and solve that for me. All right, I wrote that down wrong at the first. I wrote 35. That should have been 34 problems. So there was a total of 40 problems. Okay? All right, so that is finding the whole. Okay, you all are going to have a quiz today. It is over percent of a number. It is not going to represent this new part. It is not going to represent this new part, so don't freak out. It is going to be problems like this, okay? It'll be problems like this. So turn your percent into a decimal and multiply, okay? So take a chance to look over this again if you need to, okay? For your quiz, I need you to move apart from each other, move your desk, turn them so that you're not next to each other, kind of turn around. You may use any notes that you have. I do not care. Feel free to get out any notes that you have, and you may use a calculator. But you must show your work on the quiz. You must show me what you're doing. Okay? All right. Once you finish with your test, your quiz, turn it in, and then I want you to move to Desmos. I want you to move to Desmos. Your Desmos is called Can You Dig It? We are starting to look at positive and negative numbers on the number line. So let me just say something really quick. On a number line, obviously you have a 0, which is neither positive or negative. Then to the right, there are all my positive numbers. There are all of my negative numbers to the left. And so on, okay? Integers are any positive or negative whole number. These are all integers because they are whole numbers. They are whole numbers. Once I start to get into numbers that are fractions or decimals, they are no longer called integers. They're called rational numbers. But like this is 3.5, okay, which I could write at 3.5 or 3.5, okay. That is a rational number, okay. It's not an integer. Integers have to be whole numbers. Okay, so what they're going to start to talk to you about on the Desmos is moving along the number line. So what I want you to know is when you are moving along the number line, if I'm going from 0 and I'm moving 2 places to the right, when you move, you go 1, 2. You don't go 1, 2, 3. Nope, you go 1, 2. Okay? Let's say if I were at positive 3 and I move on the number line 5 places to the left. 5 places to the left, where would you be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would be at -2. Okay? So it's just starting you on the number line. So again, when you finish your test, your quiz, turn it into the sub, and then you can start on your Desmos. I do think I have the Desmos on the smartboard, so you should be able to click it and see your progress. When you finish with that, you have a worksheet for independent practice, and then when you're finished with that, you are finished for the day. Okay? All right, I will see you on Friday, so um, have a great period. I know you'll be wonderful. All right, have a great day.